So, very common question that I get asked, Nightmare. I just reached said rank, rookie, diamond, gold, master, whatever the rank may be. What should I learn next in order to get me out of this plateau that I'm stuck at? Well, today's video is actually going to be pretty unique, pretty different, and I decided to actually write down a few things where I'm breaking down each rank plateau and talking about the pros and cons that enemies, opponents, players most likely have within that bracket. So, here I have my handy-dandy notepad. Hello, YouTube. How you doing? Hope all is well to you. I've decided to start with rookie to go, right? A few player habits down here, hands down, is going to be mashing, right? If you're in the rookie to go plateau ranks, 9 times out of 10, most of these players within this rank doesn't properly understand how to play the game, right? Not taking jabs at nobody, but this is called the friend zone, the casual players, the people who just want to have fun. So within the people that want to have fun, you do run into people that actually want to get better, but they don't know exactly how to. So mashing is definitely going to be the #1 habit within this ranking plateau. Habit number 2 is jumping like a jackrabbit. People within this rank also, they don't properly understand how to move forward, how to take the space that the opponent is giving you, crouch blocking, moving back and forth, staying within proper range in order to force your opponent to have to do something disrespectful. So because they don't feel comfortable doing that, jumping, which is a normal advancing tactic, is also a common habit within this rank. And it sucks to say that most people, they tend to like to fight fire with fire and not actually just sit there and anti-air. So even watching a replay, watching people play, jumping is definitely a very bad habit within this rank also. Number 3, I think this is going to be pretty obvious, drive impact. Another mashing technique. Now, this particular habit, it doesn't even matter what rank you're at. You're going to see drive impact even at the higher ranks. The only difference is in the lower ranks, you're going to see it more likely, and the higher up ranks is going to be more of a knowledge check to see if your opponent actually can react to it in the given situation that the player is trying to do it in. Sweeps. Yes, sweep, sweep, sweep. I don't know what it is, but sweeps tend to be shown quite a lot also. Now, I can understand why most people like to do it, right? It's probably the farthest reaching regular normal outside of certain characters, right? Now, we're going to exclude Delson from this. We're going to exclude Ed also, right? So if you have like a traditional character with normal range, sweeps normally reach further and they cause a knockdown on hit. Now, the disadvantage to this is that sweeps are supposed to be negative, right? Meaning it could be punished. But some sweeps in this game are actually kind of safe. I don't know why. But sweeps overall is a bad habit also. Suboptimal punishes. Yes. I can't blame people for doing this, but this is a bad habit also, right? Some things tend to go punished, but they're not optimizing in some situations, right? So say you're going against a Ryu in lower ranks and they do Tatsu and you block it. You know, some people are just subtle for a sweep. Some people are subtle for a throw. But this move itself is like negative a million. So whatever character you're playing, for example, if you're playing DJ, you could do crouching fairs into another crouching fairs, you know, get more damage, more bang for your buck, which leads into better knockdown and a better situation to put yourself in and force your opponent to have to guess. So for each number is going to be the answer to the number at the top. So for number 1, of course, the answer to mashing is going to be understanding your proper frame traps. First enemy habit is mashing and how to properly beat it. If you knock an opponent down in these lower rank matches and you see that they're constantly being able to press buttons, you can't properly get your button off, you keep mistiming everything that you're trying to do, and now you're calling this player a masher. So depending on who you're playing, and of course this ties into understanding your character, so this will involve some lab time. So for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate a particular setup with Ed. I'm going to do low forward, which is going to cause a knockdown, and I'm going to dash up and properly time my meaty in order to force this opponent to get counter hit, because it's a correct situation for beating wake up buttons, right? Boom, 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 right? So properly beating enemies that are mashing revolves understanding how to use your character and force them to get counter hit meaty off a wake up. And of course, each situation is different. The same knockdown frames is going to be different if I decide to do a knockdown that leaves as a medium so bad, right? So lab time is very important. It's something that you probably won't get within a few hours. It's definitely going to take muscle memory and all to build that up. So I want to talk about this a little bit before I demonstrate what I'm talking about. The traditional frame trap in this game is normally 3 jabs. Why? Because they chain together. So normally with Street Fighter 6, most characters don't have a button that's plus on block. Normally, in order to apply proper pressure in this game, is traditionally with 3 jabs. If you are blessed to play a character that comes equipped with a plus on block normal like DJ, you can actually press something that's not a jab and still properly apply your pressure. So if your character don't have a normal like this, Street Fighter 6 actually wants you to dry rush in order to apply the plus frames off your normal, because each button gets +4 added on depending on which button you hit. Frame trapping in this game leads off a dry rush. So once you actually apply these plus frames, you have to know what button to follow up with in order to counter hit your opponent for counter mash through your pressure once again. So if I press standing medium, which is +2, if I try and do standing medium kick, they're going to probably interrupt me because standing medium kick is only 9 frame startup to become better. Frame data is very important. What you mean though, man? It's easy. It's easy, man. And of course, reversal after damage. Same thing applies, right? So let's say medium so bad is +2 on hit. Same thing applies in this situation. Reversal after damage. If you hit somebody with this and they decide to press a button, properly understanding what button that you need, what frame advantage you're at after a certain button on hit. If you're +2, +3, then understanding that will allow you to know which button to press in order to continue to stop your opponent from pressing the button, trying to jump. Right? So all this ties into stopping a mother lover from mashing. A lot of people in the low ranks, they be like, man, why I keep getting hit? Why can't I press a button before a mother lover press a button on me? And they getting hit. They waking up. They the ones blocking. Yeah, they may be mashing, but you can't blame them for mashing when you don't understand the situation that you creating. If you +2 and you trying to hit a button that's 9 frame startups, 8 frames, 10 frames, whatever, and my opponent is hitting a jab, a 4 frame, of course you go get counter hit. Of course you go thank this mother lover of mashing, because you messing up, mother lover. Stop them from mashing, you gonna start collecting them dubs. You dig? You gonna create situations like this. Alright, so let's talk about bad habit number 2, jumping like a jackrabbit. So what's the answer to that? Easy. Anti-airs, ladies and gentlemen. I know down in these lower ranks, you know, it's very understandable to wanna be the first person to force your opponent into a block situation. You want to be the first person to knock your opponent down. You want to be the first person to start your offense before they start their offense, right? But sometimes in the process of doing that, the opponent is going to jump. And in these lower end games, you have a high chance of seeing a jump. So instead of fighting fire with fire, if you just sometimes sit back, chill, and relax, you could easily just anti-air mother lover. Now, of course, it depends on what character you're playing. If you're playing DJ, a charge character, you can just easily hold down back. And because you're holding down back, you're already waiting on them to do something, right? You could be sitting out throwing a fireball. If you throw X amount of fireballs, sooner or later, they're going to get the urge to want to jump because they tired of you're being a pest to them, right? So sooner or later, they're going to jump. And you just easily jackknife. So instead of just trying to jump, instead of you trying to dry rush, be the one to just mash, get out that random drive impact, get some pressure going, you dig, do this and do that. If you just sit back, chill, and let them kill themselves, well, guess what? They go play the game that you trying to create. They go play the game you trying to create, and you just anti-air. You dig? Get that mother love out there. If you want to be fancy with it, you can really get that mother love out there. You feel me? If you want to hit up, you know what I'm saying? If you want to, you know what I'm saying? You can do something like that. You know what I'm saying? You can do that. You see the situation that you can create off of just playing patient? That's all you gotta do. My young whippersnappers, my mother lovers, my jive turkey mother lovers. I understand we playing a fighting game. Sometimes it's good to just pressure. I understand your habit to want to just beat on a mother lover. But what they say, a strong defense makes for an amazing offense. Yeah, I stand by that. Playing slow, playing steady, playing controlled, ain't nothing wrong with that. Because you best believe a mother lover go jump at you sooner or later. So you just anti-air them. If you in rookie to go, I promise you, you can win 90% of your matches if you just calm down. You know what, bro? I bet my last dollar on that. Mother lover, if you calm down and chill, I promise you, your win rate will shoot up. Mark my words on that. I done seen it enough. I know what I'm talking about. Mother lovers be trying to get combo wombos. Mother lovers be trying to understand frame traps. I understand that. But just anti-air. I promise you. Just anti-air. I ain't even gonna sugarcoat this, but drive impact is something that you just gotta react to. I'm not even trolling. React. Drive impact is a knowledge check, right? You either react to it or you don't. Now, of course, Street Fighter 6 is a high mental stat game, right? You have to deal with drive rush, you have to deal with anti-airing, you have to deal with normals whiffing, and then on top of that, as soon as you get your mindset on all that, they can easily sneak in a drive impact. Now, of course, you can slow it down by pressing a button like a jab or crouching medium punch that can still be special cancelable and make it easier to react to drive impact, but you either got the reactions or you don't. So good luck with that. And yeah, you know, reaction timings are very important when dealing with this option. Sweeps. All right, punish this. Punish this. Mother lovers throw out sweep a little bit too much. So I'm pretty sure down in the lower ranks we'll see a lot of Ken and Ryu. All right, so sweep. Ladies and gentlemen, sweeps are -12. So for some reason, people like to think that this button is safe and they don't properly punish it. We gotta stop that right now. In Ken's case, we can do this and punish with roundhouse. Of course, I don't know the proper combo to do right here, but I think Ken could get something like this and to run. I want to do at least. Yeah, Ken could get that. I think if it's close enough, you can get something a little bit more optimal, but you get the point. But instead of settling for something like this, punishing sweep with sweep, and then calling it a day, we need to get more bang for our buck. So make this a habit to punish harder. Alrighty, number 5. You know what? Number 5 actually ties into me and what I just said on number 4, right? The answer to this is understanding your character. Just something quick. All right. So say you sit in full screen and you're dealing with a mind game, and he's mixing you with fake ghosts and real ghosts, right? So in DJ's case, DJ has a very good drive rush. So you don't necessarily have to play this ghost mind game. It gets tricky once he starts throwing the spikes. Spike is the real problem with this matchup. So once he throws a ghost, you can actually get in with drive rush, standing fierce. Of course, this ties into understanding that you're fighting JP. Once you get him to the corner, you might want to make it a habit to do fireball pressure on him in order to bait level 1 and look for amnesia, right? Right? So of course, if we press a button into this, he gets to properly punish you, especially if you go for the throw, right? It's a free punish right here, you're -8. So you actually want to make it a habit to do fireball pressure because fireballs are so good in this game. It actually beats level 1, and in JP's case, amnesia. So in this situation, I'm +9. Oh, I'm +9 right now? I didn't know that. I've been kind of settling for the... Alright, cool, look at that. Within a YouTube video, I just learned something too. I didn't know I was +9 right here. I've been settling for subpar damage. I've been going for jabs. If I catch that punish count, I can get crouching fierce. See, look at that. I'm learning something while teaching a YouTube video. Ain't that something? Things can get a little bit more interesting with this. You could do something like that if you don't want to go for fireball pressure, but that's for another day, right? Talking about anti-JP tech, but this goes into punishing and getting the most out of your character, understanding your character and who you're going against and what's best in most situations, right? So that's going to actually finish the 5 habits that most enemies have within Rookie to Gold, right? So let's go ahead and go down a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and talk about Gold to Diamond. If you manage to make it to Gold and you're pushing for Diamond, 9 times out of 10, you're still going to be seeing mashing. You're going to be seeing less of it, and you're probably going to be seeing less jumping. But if you manage to make it to this plateau, you should be consistent with proper frame traps, understanding your Oki with your character in order to get your guests going. You know, just keeping the neutral and control when it comes down to maintaining the fight, basically. So you're still probably going to be fighting jackrabbits, but like I said, at this point, you should have a good threshold for frame traps and anti-iron. So around this rank, people, ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to talk on conditioning. Grabs are going to be your main conditioning tool when it comes down to gathering information on your opponent, right? The more throws you deliver, you're going to gather the information on, are they taking the throws? Are they teching for them? Like, you're going to get what you need in order to understand how your opponent is reacting in defensive situations. So if they're backdashing, cool. If they're teching, cool. If they're taking the throws, cool, right? You're going to continue to throw them. So bada bing, bada boom. You're going for throws and they're continuing to backdash, right? So now this is giving you the idea that, okay, this person doesn't want to take a throw. Same thing mid-screen, right? If you go for a throw and they show backdash, cool. This is giving you the information that you need, that next time you knock this mother lover down, you should either be attacking their legs or going for a situation that's going to stop them from backdash. So you gather the information that a backdash is going to happen. So what are you going to do? You're going to attack them low. What are you going to do? You're going to triple jab. What are you going to do? Might drive rush. These are all good options to be dropped. These are all good options to beat backdash. So at that given point, your mindset is that, okay, I'm stopping his backdash. This mother lover shouldn't backdash again, right? So you should be going for another throw. They might take that one. Cool. If they take that throw, perfect. Let's see if they're going to take the second one. Let's see if they're going to take the third one, right? So after taking X amount of grabs, around this time, you should probably be looking for a potential defensive option, because now the option is that, okay, he didn't took 2 or 3 grabs. 9 times out of 10, he's probably going to wake up with a level 1, a level 2, a level 3. He's going to wake up button. He's going to be doing an option because now he's getting frustrated for always getting thrown, right? The saying, take the throw, yeah, that's true. But throw loops in this game are very rare. They do 1,200 damage, but of course, taking the throws, all these throws add up. They continue to add up, and it's going to force the opponent to want to do something else. So in this situation, you're probably going to respect the wake up. You're going to continue to bully the wake up. The gist of what I'm saying is that throws are very important in this game, which leads into your mix option. Habit number 2 that I talk about. Mix-ups. Street Fighter 6 is a heavy orientated game around offense. So getting in your opponent's face, forcing them to guess, is going to be very important. So this is a mix of frame traps. This is going to be a mix of tick throws. You can even do standing medium punch, and depending on how close you are, another good strong option is throwing out a button that's after dry rush. Give the button a +4 and then attacking them low, right? Because 9 times out of 10, if you go for a tick throw, they have to sit there, right? 9 times out of 10, if somebody decides to get jabbed and they walk back, you run the chance of your throw missing because of the walk back. So you might be looking for that and then do the second hit being a light in order to contest the walk back. If the opponent is trying to walk back throwing out a light off the second option after a dry rush is a good way to check the walk back. And of course, you can follow up into a combo. And then once they stop walking back, you go back for the throws. And then once you then aggravated them with enough throws, of course, shimmy is going to be another good option. So block, reversal, with the throw tech. Right. So this is why throws are very important, because it opens up for the shimmy. This is why they say take the throw is very important. This is why they say taking the throw is very important. You don't want to open yourself up for damage like this, right? This is 2,800 versus taking 1,200. But because throw loose is so strong in this game, sooner or later you're going to tech, right? And you might tech off that situation that you don't want to tech off. Right? This is the damage that's likely to happen if you just tech your hands out. Right, you can't take the throw forever. So that's why I said after throwing them 2 or 3 times, 9 times out of 10, the percentage of a wake-up option happening is very high. It's very high. But that's why having a good mix is very important. You want to aggravate your opponent. You want to break their what's the word I'm looking for? You want to break where they're comfortable at. So this is why throws are good, because you're going to gather information and you're going to see what your opponent is doing. So if they're teching, you can start doing the lay options to catch the tech. You can start shimmying to catch the tech, or you can find the option in order to beat what they're showing you every time you go for a throw. Throws are very important. It's the leading cause of most mix-ups being deadly. Everything happens off a throw. Sanford told me this in Street Fighter 5. I don't throw enough. And I felt like I did throw enough. I always felt like I threw enough. And he was like, nah, bro, you're not throwing enough. Whenever you think you didn't throw enough, you haven't threw enough. You should throw more. If you ever watch high-level play, tournament play, 9 times out of 10, they going for throws. Once you pass the threshold of getting through people that's mashing, jumping like crazy, it is time for you, within the gold to diamond rank, around this time, you need to properly understand your character. What they want to do in neutral. As soon as you spawn into a match and it say fight, it's you versus whoever. You need to understand your character, right? You need to understand where you placing yourself at, what you trying to bully with, what you trying to look for in your opponent, and punish it. As soon as I spawn into a match, I'm fighting JP. It's easy to say, go in. But going in all the time ain't always work. Sometimes you need to play defensive, right? Sometimes you need to do a little bit of both. Sometimes you need to just turn your brain off and just start drive rushing and see what your opponent's going to do. But let's just say you want to play it slow because you want to feel what your opponent's going to do, right? So because I know DJ for the most part, I'm going to properly place myself around this range at all times. Why? So this is the range for my medium so bad. Well, a little bit closer. This is the range for my medium so bad, and this is also the sweet spot for roundhouse. Standing medium kick also. Standing medium kick, and of course, low forward. This is the sweet spot for all my buttons. This is also a good range because you're going to be dancing in and out of range with JP's buttons. You're going to be dancing in and out of his range. Right? So while you looking to press your button, he's going to be whiffing his buttons. So if you see a whiff on it. Get that knockdown, push it to the corner, and start playing the game, right? Now let's just say your opponent isn't whiffing, isn't doing nothing. Like they don't want to give you the answer that you're looking for, right? We want to be poking with single shots, poking with feints to get him to jump, of course, and just bullying until he does something, right? Say that don't work. I'm going to be moving in and out, poking with my buttons, bullying with so bad, and then skipping neutral because this is Street Fighter 6, and of course DJ got one of the best drive rushes in the game. So mixing in and understanding your character plays parts into footsies, neutral, Street Fighter, right? Now, of course, the more you play the game, you're going to become comfortable with your character. So this isn't something that's going to happen overnight. It takes time. Of course, with every player playing different, You may watch your favorite said player play this character. You might get some general ideas on what to do, but even once you see these general ideas, it ain't gonna quite work like that for you because you're not going against the same people that he's going against, right? Everything he's doing is for a reason. He might be fighting a JP that's playing very calculated, and he has to play calculated also. You might be like, oh, okay, I like that approach. I like what he did right there. Let me go ahead and do that against the JP that I'm gonna fight. And then the JP you're fighting is playing completely different, playing wild, unhinged, and not giving you a opportunity to breathe, right? So what works for one may not work exactly for the next. Finding what works for you is going to always be important. Of course, that comes with time. But understanding your character and what to properly place yourself is definitely important. Because now you're making it less likely for you to get punished. You're giving your opponent not so many options in order to start their pressure. And you're making it hard for them to get their game going. So matchup knowledge is always going to be important. Very, very, very important. So knowing your game plan, y'all, knowing your game plan is the gist of what I'm saying. So that final push, everybody wants to become master, right? Everybody wants to become master. Diamond to masters. How do I know my game plan? Well, comes with time. Nah, idea. Now, depending on what character you play, every character has a different motive. The plan that DJ has is going to be different from Delsum, right? The plan that them two characters have is going to be different from Geef. So, depending on who you play is going to determine a general game plan and what option you want to be playing with. So, it just depends. In most game plans, you got to be willing to switch it up depending on how your opponent is playing. All right, so Diamond to Masters, you're trying to find that last push in order to make it to the promised land, right? From Diamond to Master. So at this point, you pretty much understand the game. With punishing, very important in neutral. People like to press buttons because they traditionally pressing a button in neutral is going to be a good way to control spacing, right? You don't want your opponent to feel like they could just walk up for the free. So they're going to whiff a button to just let you know, like, hey, I'm looking for this button, so you might want to watch out. But let's just say they whiff that button, right? You got to be able to react to that and punish it. You got to be able to check that. You got to be able to make that mother lover pay for thinking that it was good to control that space with that button and it never actually made contact with your character. So if we had neutral and this mother lover JP is whiffing this, make it your objective to whiff punish. Why is it good to whiff punish? Well, this is going to open up some more playing field. This is going to allow you to enforce the fact that your opponent cannot freely press buttons if you're not within space for it to actually make contact with your guard. You're going to be able to move within that space and that he's trying to control and actually press your buttons more often than you may think. Because I don't know if y'all ever noticed, but even if you're not the one doing it, if you're watching your favorite player and you see that they whiff punish or something, right? Have you ever noticed that once they whiff punish that option, the opponent is playing a little bit more concerned? They're playing a little bit more safe to make sure that doesn't happen again. And 9 times out of 10, that player that you're watching is most likely moving forward or pressing his options more because now he can actually get his game plan started better now. That's why it's good to whiff punish. To enforce into your opponent that you need to watch what you're doing. The more you whiff punish, this is going to happen. Bada bing, bada boom. You got them where they need to be at, and now you're forcing a heavier mix. All because of a whiff punish, right? The whiff punish is going to be very good. Now, of course, this ties into matchup knowledge. You need to understand your opponent's character and the range that they best buttons hit at. So the range that JP best button hit at is going to be different for Delsum. It's going to be different for Ed, DJ, Ryu, Ken. Everybody got different ranges, right? Understanding those ranges is going to make it better for you to play the game. Match up knowledge. Understanding the ins and outs understanding the weak spots, exploiting your opponent's offense, exploiting the gaps that they have, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and use air for an example because everybody hates air. Let's go ahead and start by saying this. Standing fierce is a true strength. Right? Standing fierce is a true strength. So, no, my bad. Standing fierce into light flicker is a true strength. So if they do this, you cannot drive impact. It won't come out, right? But let's just say they do fierce into this. It works. Let's say they do this into backstab. If you see standing fierce come out, you should always be buffering drive impact, right? You should always be buffering drive impact in that situation. Because if they keep it real, your drive impact won't come out. If they do something disrespectful like fierce into EX flicker, your drive impact is going to win. And because they nerfed backstep and expanded the hurt box forward, you can now even more freely drive impact without concern. Because the moment they commit to the flicker, that backstep is still going to get hit. Still going to get hit. So in this situation, you should always be pressing drive impact. You know what? Replays. I say this a lot. Replays, y'all. If you are in a situation where you suck against a certain character, you're not sure if you're allowing them to get away with murder, if you're not properly contesting in spots where you feel like you should be contesting at, replays is going to be your best friend. Replays is really your best friend now because replay takeover has been added in, which allows you to actually go back in and control it at any point of the match, and you can actually see where you're going wrong at, optimizing where you're going wrong at, and capitalizing on your mistakes and becoming better. So replays are going to really be a breaking point because some people hate watching themselves lose. I feel like once you get past that point and accept that you are lacking in certain departments, you're going to start seeing progress. You're going to start seeing a lot of progress. Ladies and gentlemen, combos. The combo wombos, y'all. Combo wombos. The bread and butter. The needs. The must. So, now, combos. It depends, right? I want to talk a little bit more in depth behind why players do certain combos in certain situations. So, I'm going to start off by saying, learn your optimal combos. Stop settling for low damage, right? Stop settling for one jab in the medium so bad, that's only 1100, right? Start going for 3 jabs in the medium so bad, that's 1350. Start going for 3 jabs into a dry rush conversion, which leads into additional corner carry. Start going for dry rush jab into this, plus 2 restance. 50-50 strike throw mix. And of course, let's say your opponent decides to wake up DP, right? It's going to always be a punish counter state. Understand that you should be going for something like this. If you don't want to spend meter, this is pretty good, meterless. But kind of put some more bang in the buck. This is good. If you're trying to cash out, right? If you're trying to cash out, you understand something like this is a better go-to, which should be around 50-ish. Yeah, 58, roughly 6K. Situation like this. You want to know these combos versus selling for a little small punishes like that. I watch a lot of replays and I see like, man, you could have got way more damage, man. Why you did something like that? And you know, I can't blame them because they don't know, which is perfectly understandable. But we want to get the most bang for our bucks. Oops, what was that combo again? I don't think this is going to do more. It might. Could do more. I think it will do more. Yeah. 6,375. These are the type of combos that you really, 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 really want, right? So when your opponent do that DP, that super, anything that's hella punishable, you want to hit them with a combo like this in order to make them pay for it. So let's actually talk about combo choices, right? It depends. Now, it depends on where you're at. The situation that you're trying to create is going to determine which combo that you want to do. So in DJ's case, our objective most of the time is to push them to the corner as fast as possible, right? So if you get that punish counter mid-screen, most likely you want to end your combos with heavy jackknife because it's for the additional corner carry. Some people might do heavy sobat, maybe because they want to try and force a 50-50 strike throw mid-screen. I mean, it's cool and all. +2, you can force that high low if you want to, but normally with DJ, you want to push them as fast as possible so you can force that strike throw mix into the throw. It's a situation like this. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a pretty good gist, y'all, of what to learn at each rank. Now, of course, once you finally do get the masters, masters, welcome to MR, the true grind. Each set, I mean, 1500 MR, I feel like you're still gonna be dealing with masters 9 times out of 10. So take into part what you learned around here, mashing, jumping like a rabbit, understanding these options, and still using that to beat your opponents around the 1500 MR because you're still going to need it. 1600 MR, 9 times out of 10, people are still mashing. So once again, take that into account. Proper frame traps, anti-iron, continuing to beat them off that. 1700 MR, okay. You should be fighting some solid people. You should be fighting. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put should in quotation marks. You're gonna still fight your masters, the people that jump, trying to overload your mental, and you know what I'm saying, try to get over on you. But be on the lookout. 1800 MR, okay, now you're most likely fighting. You starting to fight the sweats, mother lovers that want that 1900 MR, that's pushing for that 2K, right? So this is where proper mix, grabs, and matchup knowledge and whiff punishing is going to really come into play at. Because now you're going to be fighting people that's playing within those ranges, getting you to whiff, understanding your habits, attacking you on your bad habits, and making you pay for it, right? So, right. That's where you're going to be fighting mother lovers that understand Street Fighter 6 and not just trying to abuse the mechanics of the game and just want to overload your mental quickly compared to the lower side of MR. So the 1900 MR, yeah, even more sweats. You're fighting even more sweats. So once you get to 1900, 2K and up, you about to be put to the test, right? This is where you make one mistake, they gonna make you pay. You jump, 9 times out of 10, you will get DP'd. You have an input error, they gonna make you pay for it. You don't understand a matchup, you let them get away with murder, they gonna make sure you pay for it, right? This is the game at its highest level. This is Street Fighter at its best. 2K MR and up, you won't be really seeing too many drive impacts. You're still gonna be seeing dry rush. Dry rush is just a core feature of the game, so you're going to see drive rush. You're going to most likely see drive reversal, depending on if people want you to just waste your drive meter. Because, you know, a lot of people like to do low forward drive rush, which costs 3 bars. Drive reversal is a good way to counter that for those who don't know. It is actually a free get off me. And in this game, drive reversal actually allows you to be plus on dash up. So it actually puts the ties back in your favor for those who don't like to use drive rush. I mean, drive reversal, my bad. But yeah, y'all. Hopefully this video was found helpful. I think I did pretty good on it. Normally I would just show most of my stuff in training mode. I mean, I kind of did use that also, but I realized a lot of people been asking me, hey, I reached X rank, or I reached X MR. What should I be doing around this level in order to really optimize my game and push past this threshold? So hopefully this video was found helpful. I think I did pretty good on it. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe to the video, and catch you guys in the next one. Peace.